Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita, ipadama ang pusong may malasakit. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Sakali mang tayo'y subukin ng unos, ating haharapin ng walang takot. Sasamahan ka ni Fernan at Dino, ang bagong barkada mo. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Nan, ang lalim ata ng iniisip mo.
Naalala ko lang bigla ngayon, nung nagmerienda tayo sa kantin kahapon, napansin ko na ang dami nilang nakadisplay ng mga baked products.
Oo nga, Nan. Ako rin. Napaisip kung lahat ba yun ay pastry products, tulad ng kinain natin na egg pie at chicken empanada. Paano kaya nila ginawa ang mga iyon ng maayos? At mukhang katakam-takam, no?
Nakakagutom naman ng mga sinasabi nyo. Mabuti pa, tayo nang manood at makinig kay Ma'am Ann. Ibabahagi niya sa atin kung ano-ano ang mga uri ng pie and pastry at kung ano ang mga tamang paraan sa paghahalo ng mga sangkap nito para maging maayos ang pagkakagawa ng mga ito. Tara!
Halina't panoorin na natin siya.
A blessed day, Fernandino Teens. Welcome to another episode of Fernandino Teens TV, Season 2. I am Felina and Cariaga, your teacher lecturer in bread and pastry for today. Before we begin in our today's discussion, let me introduce to you our lesson objectives. In this lesson, you are expected to identify the kinds of pastries, be aware of the ingredients needed in preparing pastries, enumerate the various mixing techniques applied in baking, and apply the different mixing techniques in pastry making. This lesson will give you an extensive scope of knowledge and skills about pies and pastries. A pie is a baked dish of fruit or meat and vegetables. typically with a top and base of pastry. Pastry is a dough that is used to make pies and other baked goods. Pastry is sometimes called crust or pie shell. Dough is a flour mixture thick enough to be handed and kneaded. Pies and pastries, like cakes, are delightful to eat, especially when they are baked properly. Pastries are one of the most popular dessert and snack foods. Many seasonal fruits go well with a pie crust. Many of our wide range of dessert can fill in a pastry shell. A well-prepared pastry may be determined by the quantity of its pie crust, quality of its ingredients, and the mixing techniques applied in baking. What do you think are the nutritive value of pastries? You may write your answer on the comment box below or in a sheet of pad paper. Pastries are rich in calories, carbohydrates, and fats. If you got the 3 correct answers, then you are great. The amount of energy in an item of food or drink is measured in calories. When we eat and drink more calories than we use up, our bodies store the excess as body fat. Carbohydrates are the fiber, starches, and sugar, essential food nutrients that your body turns into glucose to give you the energy to function. Fats are also called fatty acids or lipids. Dietary fats are essential to give your body energy and to support cell growth. They also protect your organs and help keep your body warm. Let us have an activity called Identify Me. I will show you some pictures of different baked products. Identify which among them are pies and pastries. You may write your answer on the comment box below or in a sheet of pad paper. First picture. Second picture. Third picture. Fourth picture. Fifth picture. If your answer are pictures 1, 2, and 3, you got them right. What are the different kinds of pastries? The different kinds of pastries are cream puff, puff pastry, Danish pastry, French pastry, pie and tart, and croissants. Cream puffs, a type of light pastry that is filled with whipped cream or a sweetened cream filling and often topped with chocolate. Puff pastry, a light, flaky, rich pastry made by rolling dough with butter and folding it to form layers, used for tarts. Danish pastry, a pastry made of sweetened yeast dough with toppings such as fruits or cheese. French pastries, a rich pastry filled with custard or fruit. Pie and tart, pastries that consist of 2 components. The first, relatively thin pastry dough when baked forms a crust that holds the second, the filling. Croissants, a flaky raised dough. It is like a sweetened cross between a simple yeast raised dough and puff pastry. The dough is rolled with butter to create layers and is then left to rise, creating a very light texture. The downside is that it is technically involved and requires a great deal of work. Pastries, like any other baked products, have need of ingredients to be able to prepare it. What do you think are the ingredients of pastries? You may write your answer on the comment box below or in a sheet of pad paper. Let us check your answers. All-purpose flour, lard and vegetable shortening, water, salt. Amazing! If you got the 4 correct answers. Let us continue our discussion when Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 returns.
Ang Schools Division Office City of San Fernando, Pampanga ay kaisa ng Department of Education sa pagsasagawa ng mga proyekto at programa na tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral. Inilunsad ang Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors upang magbigay ng educational at psychological assistance sa mga mag-aaral, magulang at stakeholders ng division. Kaya, kung may nais kayong itanong tungkol sa pag-aaral, maaaring magpadala ng mensahe sa Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors Facebook page o tumawag sa mga numero na makikita sa ibaba ng inyong screen tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa ganap na alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Maaari rin kayong sumangguni sa ating guidance counselors na nagbibigay ng guidance and counseling services. Lahat ng inyong ibabahagi ay mananatiling confidential. Ang nasabing programa ay nagsisilbing daan upang malaman ang feedbacks ng stakeholders para matulungan ang ating divisyon na mapagbuti pa ang mga sumusunod na programa. Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Tumawag na sa aming mga numero o bumisita na sa aming Facebook page at magpadala ng inyong mga katanungan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back to Fernandino Teens TV. Earlier, we were able to discuss the different kinds of pastries. And now, we will discuss further the ingredients in pastry making. The pastry ingredients are 1. All-purpose flour. It is a type of flour used in baking pastries. The gluten content of this flour provides framework or substance of baked pastries. 2. Lard and vegetable shortening. These are fats frequently used to make pastry. Butter and margarine produce a less tender crust. 3. Water. It is an important ingredient in pastry because it provides the moisture needed to develop gluten. 4. Salt. It contributes to the flavor of pastry and has no influence on flakiness or tenderness. Let us have an activity named Fill Me to find out if you already know the use of each pastry ingredient. Fill in the blank with a word or group of words to make the sentence complete. Write your answers on a sheet of paper or on the chat box below. 1. Blank are fats frequently used to make pastry. The answer is lard and vegetable shortening. You're doing well. 2. Blank contributes to the flavor of pastry and has no influence on flakiness or tenderness. Salt is the correct answer. Good job. 3. Blank is a type of flour used in baking pastries. If your answer is all-purpose flour, then you got it right. 4. Blank provides the moisture needed to develop gluten. Water is the right answer. If you got 4 correct answers, you are excellent. Observing correct hand and mixing techniques is also a factor to successful baking. Wrong mixing techniques such as overmixing, undermixing, insufficient creaming will result in poorly baked goods. Here are some of the mixing techniques applied for pie and pastry. Mixing methods greatly affect flour mixtures and its resulting product. Various techniques have been developed for efficiency and convenience. Some of them are stirring, mixing all ingredients together, usually with a spoon in a circular motion. Beating, introducing air into the mixture through mechanical agitation, as in beating eggs. An electric mixer is often used to beat the ingredients together. In the absence of electric mixer, you may use a whisk or wire whip. Whisking, also known as the whipping method, and is usually used for meringue and for chiffon products. Air is incorporated into such food as whipping cream and egg whites through very vigorous mixing, usually with an electric mixer or whisk. In our present situation now, due to pandemic, face-to-face learning is not allowed, and some of the tools needed to be able to apply the mixing methods, you can use some alternatives like, in the absence of an electric mixer, you can use wire whip, whisk, and also 2 forks when beating and whisking. Find 2 forks with the same size handles and tines. Rolling, to flatten out dough into a sheet in preparation to shaping to various forms. You may also use an empty round bottle in rolling the dough. Remember that when rolling, always roll the dough from the center, releasing pressure to the edge to keep thickness of the dough even. Laminating. Fat is repeatedly folded into the dough. Kneading. Working with the dough using the heel of hands, accompanied by pressing, stretching, and folding in order to develop its gluten. Kneading dough is important to form gluten. The more you move around the flour, the more gluten you will develop. Gluten is a general name for the proteins found in wheat, rye, barley. Gluten helps food maintain their shape, acting as a glue that holds food together. Cut in or cutting in. Cutting fat into smaller pieces using 2 knives or pastry blender to distribute fat in flour until it resembles into coarse meal. What is coarse meal? Coarse meal means little lumps of the raw butter remain whole within the flour mixture. 2 knives are the alternative for pastry blender. Here is a video on how mixing techniques are done. Stirring. Mixing all ingredients together, usually with a spoon in a circular motion. Beating. Introducing air into the mixture through mechanical agitation as in beating eggs. An electric mixer is often used to beat the ingredients together. In the absence of electric mixer, you can use fork or wire whip. Whisking, also known as the whipping method, and is usually used for meringue and for chiffon products. Air is incorporated into such food as whipping cream and egg whites through very vigorous mixing, usually with an electric mixer or whisk. Rolling, to flatten dough out into a sheet in preparation to shaping to various forms. Remember that when rolling, always roll the dough from the center, releasing pressure to the edge to keep thickness of the dough even. Laminating. Fat is repeatedly folded into the dough. Kneading. Working with the dough using the heel of hands, accompanied by pressing, stretching, and folding in order to develop its gluten. cut in or cutting in. Cutting fat into smaller pieces using 2 knives or pastry blender to distribute fat in flour until it resembles into coarse meal. When we return, you will answer some questions regarding the video. Stay tuned. Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 will be back after a short break.
Maya po oras kaya kayo, Fernandinos. Ako pala ay Elwin Arl Serrano ng City Tourism Office ng Ciudad San Fernando. Ngayong bulan na ini, pagmasusyan tayo ang National Heritage Month na ating temang Victory and Humanity, Upholding Filipino Heritage and Identity. Kambena nini, metong karang aktibidades na ng syudad, apin ng launching ng bayong Heritage Passport. Yung Heritage Passport, apin ng metong karing proyekto ng kaya katamong syudad, yung paminamuna ng Mayor Edwin D. Santiago. Anong nuka rin makalagelangan ding eganagan ng heritage sites, heritage structures, na akit tamo kin kay katamong heritage district. Makakayado din kini, ding importansya da ding mapil na tradisyon kay ni syudad, kalupa na ning pamangawang parol, ang po yung pamangalesa. May awo siyang heritage passport, uling atin kang dapat gawan, anong nukaran puntalan mo lading at tsuking passport at saka ka mag-selfie. Kay ba't kanta palto making tourism office at mamiyalang sticker ka rin eganagan ang apuntulan mong lugar. At timong may ngari ang tutong passport. Balo mingeni, panahon na ini, etamo makain bisa lumal, uli na ng COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya naman kimbanwa ngayon agkatan ko lading bikers tamo, edad 18 hanggang 50, imbis na lumaot kayo po, di na nyo lang dita ka oras di kaya katamong heritage structures kaya ni syudad. Anya naman karing mumunang 50 bikers ang makayari kaya katamong heritage passport, midinan lang premyong only San Fernando loot bag. Inggawan nyo mo bakit ta makapag-register, munta kayo mismo opisina na ng City Tourism, yung munisipyo, at saka kayo magdalang metong valid ID. Kabiyanin kaya kayong heritage passport, ating makasipit ang instruction nung nano pa ing dapat gawan. Anya naman ka rin hanggang kapadyakin, nanano ko pa, tara na!
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back! A while ago, you've watched a video about mixing techniques. Let me see how retentive your memories are. Do you still recall the different mixing techniques used in baking pies and pastries? Try this. Let us have an activity. Choose the correct answer and write your answers on a sheet of paper or on the chat box below. 1. How do we stir ingredients? A. Circular motion. B. Side by side. C. Up and down motion. D. All motion. If your answer is letter A, you are correct. We stir ingredients in a circular motion. 2. Why do we beat eggs? A. To incorporate steam. B. To incorporate air. C. To dissolve egg yolks. D. To make the egg fine. The right answer is B. Did you get it? Amazing! We beat eggs to incorporate air. 3. What will happen to the egg whites if you whisk them? A. It becomes fluffy. B. It increases in volume. C. It traps air in egg whites. D. All of the above. The answer is all of the above. If your answer is D, great job! When you whisk egg whites, air is trapped and becomes fluffy, thus increasing its volume. 4. Why do we need to roll the dough from the center and release the pressure to the edge? A. To keep thickness of the dough even. B. To keep the thinness of the dough even. C. To keep the dough fine. D. To keep the dough in proper shape. Correct. Letter A. Excellent. Always roll the dough from the center to keep thickness even. 5. Why is kneading dough important? A. To form gluten. B. To make the dough smooth. C. To make the dough elastic. D. All of the above. Perfect! All of the answers are correct. Kneading dough is important to form gluten, make the dough smooth and elastic. If you got the 5 correct answers, great start! Terrific! Here is a video on how to prepare egg pie, ham and cheese empanada that shows how mixing techniques are applied. How to prepare egg pie and ham and cheese empanada. Procedure. For the crust, cut in fat and flour using pastry blender or 2 knives until ingredients resemble a coarse meal. Gradually add cold water. Start forming the dough into balls. A few drops of water may be added if dough will not hold together. Do not knead. Place the dough on the board. Roll the dough from the center to edges, releasing pressure near the edge to keep thickness of the dough even. Roll in all directions to maintain perfect circle. The dough should be an inch layer than the pie plate. Roll dough over the rolling pin, then unroll over the pie plate. This will prevent the dough from breaking when transferring from the board to the pie plate. Fit snugly on the pan. Float the edge of the pie using 3 fingers or with the tines of the fork. Prick liberally with tines of a fork. Set aside. Bake the pie shell for 10 minutes at 450 Fahrenheit to prevent egg pie from being soggy. Prepare filling. Mix all ingredients thoroughly. Pour in the prepared pie pan. Bake at 350 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. In the absence of an oven, you can use an improvised oven like the pot with cover. Preheat it also for 15 minutes and use a very slow fire only. Cook the egg pie in 30 minutes in low heat, then adjust the fire to medium heat for 15 minutes. You will notice that when you check it, the top will rise and it will turn brown. After 15 minutes, turn the heat to low heat and cook it again for 10 minutes. Then put off the fire and let it there for 5 minutes. We can also use our crust recipe in preparing ham and cheese empanada. Here's how. Roll dough over the rolling pin, then unroll over the empanada molder. In the absence of the empanada molder, you can use overturned saucer in cutting the dough into circles. After cutting, fill it up with ham and cheese, then secure the seal with your fingers or with the use of the tines of a fork. Then prick the empanada back and forth. Ham and cheese empanada can be cooked in 2 ways, with the use of an oven or oven toaster, or by frying. With the use of an oven, brush egg wash into the surface of the empanada before baking it. Bake for 15 to 20 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit or until golden brown. In frying the empanada, make sure that the cooking oil is hot enough before putting the empanada. Use low heat to avoid burning the empanada. Cook until light brown.
Hindi lamang sa larangan ng pangkabuhayan apektado ang maraming pamilyang Pilipino, kundi maging sa larangan ng pagkatuto ng bawat batang Pilipino. Inilunsad ng siyudad ng San Fernando ang programang Nurturing Environment and System for Thriving or NEST, isang education community pantry na naglalayon para sa isang malawakang pagtulong, pagantabay at paggabay na ang focus ay ang makapagbigay ng tulong at suporta sa ating mga mag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng educational needs gaya na lamang ng school supplies, tutorial sessions, study tips, at iba pang mga pamamaraan na mas lalong makatutulong sa pag-angat ng ating edukasyon. Dahil hindi hadlang ang pandemya sa magandang kinabukasang naghihintay sa ating mga mag-aaral. Sino-sino nga ba ang mga kalahok sa programang ito? Sa pagtutulungan ng ating school administrators, guro, magulang, at iba pang mga miyembro ng ating komunidad gaya ng barangay officials at sangguniang kabataan, ay siguradong magiging mas matagumpay ang programang ito. Paano nga ba ang magiging proseso ng naturang programa? Una, magkakaroon tayo ng isang Facebook group, ang Pampanga High School NEST Education Community Pantry na pangungunahan ng Educational Pantry Coordinator. Ang mga magulang, tagapangalaga at mga guro ay ia-add ng ating Educational Pantry members sa Facebook group na ito. Sa page na ito maaaring i-post ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga o sino mang miyembro ng Educational Pantry ang kanilang mga kahilingan o requests. Kailangan ding ilagay ang pangalan ng mag-aaral, grade at section para sa mas agarang aksyon. Oo nga pala, hindi lang requests ang pwedeng i-post. Pwede ring mag-post ang mga nais magbigay ng tulong o mga gustong mag-donate. Sabi nga nila, sharing is caring. Tandaan na ang Facebook group na ito ay pribado at posts na may kaugnayan lamang sa page na ito ang maaaprobahan. Mayroon din palang Google Form na ipamamahagi kung saan maaari nating isumite ang ating requests o kahilingan. Paano naman ang mga walang internet access sa bahay? Huwag mangamba dahil merong mga nakalaang drop boxes ang ating paaralan na kung saan maaaring ihulog ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang kanilang requests. Sa mga nais namang mag-donate ng school supplies, maaaring ilagay ang mga ito sa tabi ng drop boxes. Maaari ring mag-donate ng mga kagamitan o cash donation kaakibat ang pagsusumite ng deed of donation form. Pangalawa, mahalaga ang ugnayan ng mga guro at ng mga magulang o tagapangalaga sa programang ito. Gamit ang video calls o chats ay ipahahayag ng mga guro ang adhikain ng programang ito sa mga magulang o tagapangalaga. Maaari ring gawin ang orientation na ito ng face-to-face kasabay ng schedule ng kuhanan ng mga module. Gaya ng nabanggit, hindi lamang mga bagay ang maaaring i-donate. Pwede ring mag-conduct ng tutorial session, study tips, at iba pang mga kagamitan sa pagkatuto gaya ng mga aklat o kaya ay gadgets. Ikatlo, ang requested needs ng ating mga magulang o tagapangalaga ay ililista ng ating NEST focal person. Ang mga coordinator naman ang mag-aayos ng mga ito. Ang advisors ng ating mga mag-aaral, guidance counselor, at iba pang mga guro ay ipaaalam sa ating mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang petsa at oras ng pamimigay ng requested needs na gaganapin sa paaralan. Sabi nga nila, it takes a village to raise a child. Kaya naman aktibo at iba yung pakikilahok ang inaasahan sa pagsasanib puwersa ng paaralan at barangay na siyang tutukoy sa pangangailangan ng bawat Fernandinong mag-aaral at kikilos upang matugunan ito sa tulong at suporta rin ng mga miyembro ng komunidad. Isang malawakang komunidad para sa isang produktibong educational community pantry ay tiyak na lilikha ng iba yung pagkilos upang maging mas magaan at madali ang pagkatuto ng bawat kabataang Fernandino. Kaya naman tandaan, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back to Fernandino Teens TV. Did you understand the video presented? I hope you did, because this will serve as your guide in doing your own pie and pastry for your performance task. Let us have a short review before doing the last two activities. What are the different kinds of pastries? 1. Cream puffs. 2. Puff pastry. 3. Danish pastry. 4. French pastry. 5. Pie and tart. 6. Croissants. What are the ingredients used in pastry making? 1. All-purpose flour. 2. Lard and vegetable shortening. 3. Water. 4. Salt. What are the various mixing techniques in baking? 1. Stirring. 2. Beating. 3. Whisking. 4. Rolling. 5. Laminating. 6. Kneading. 7. Cut in or cutting in. Now, are you ready to answer the activity? Let us start. Examine the pictures and write what kind of pastry it is. First picture. You are right, it is croissant. Second picture. You got it. If your answer is Danish pastry. Third picture. It is a cream puff. Fourth picture. Awesome! It is a French pastry. Fifth picture. Precisely, it is a puff pastry. Now, let us proceed to the last activity. Examine the pictures. Identify what kind of mixing technique is demonstrated in each picture. Write your answers on a sheet of paper or on the chat box below. First picture. If your answer is kneading, you are correct. Second picture. If your answer is rolling, you got it. Third picture. If your answer is cutting in, then that's absolutely right. Fourth picture. If your answer is whisking, that is exactly true. Fifth picture. If your answer is beating, you are excellent. Sixth picture. If your answer is stirring, you are correct. Seventh picture. If your answer is laminating, you got it. Eighth picture. If your answer is rolling, then that's absolutely right. Ninth picture. If your answer is cutting in, that is exactly true. Last picture. If your answer is beating, you are excellent. You can also use an electric mixer in beating. You all performed a fantastic job. Thank you for taking part in the activities. Mixing is one of the most critical and important operations in a bakery. It is the first and most crucial operation which establishes the chemical formula of the bread and other baked goods. Each dough or batter and ingredient requires a distinct method of mixing to achieve the desired texture. I hope this episode should have taught you something new. These are the references used for today's presentation. This is Teacher Ann of Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.
Wow! Ganun pala nila ginagawa ang egg pie at ham and cheese empanada. Kahit wala tayong oven sa bahay, maaari din tayo makagawa ng pies at pastries.
Naituro din sa atin ni Ma'am kung ano-ano ang mga proseso, ingredients, at mga kagamitan sa paggawa ng mga ito. Yayayain ko nga si Mama na gumawa ng egg pie at ham and cheese empanada.
Baka naman may pa-free taste, Nan. Ang dami na naman nating natutuhan sa araw na ito. Kaya naman,
Maraming salamat, ma'am.
Isa na namang makabuluhang talakayan ang ating natunghayan, Fernandino Teens.
samahan niyo kaming muli sa pagtuklas ng bagong kaalaman dito lang sa
Fernandino
Teens
TV.
Season 2.
kung saan ang kabataang Fernandino ay angat sa aking talino.
Bagong umaga, yakapin mo ang bagong pag-asa. Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan. Maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita.